Hey, 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 happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. What's going on with you? Hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to open up, man. We're going to start off with the quote of the day. The quote of the day comes from Irma Bombeck. It says, "There is a thin line that separates laughter and pain, comedy and tragedy, humor and hurt." Man, that's truth right there. Let me get to this next one. On this day in history, in 1945, Iwo Jima was invaded by the U.S. Marines. Yes, final phases of World War II, U.S. Marines invaded Iwo Jima so as to wrest control of the strategically important island from the Japanese, who put up fierce resistance in the ensuing battle. All right. So, we have a great guest today. I am about to bring her in. She and I think we're gonna have two, but just in case, it's gonna be our cousin, Primo and Prima. And yeah, man, they got a busy schedule, so it's an honor to have them on. Let's see. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, 1 2 1 2.
Hey, Primo.
Hey, Prima, HAFA ADAI.
HAFA ADAI. Do I need to turn my video on? I got to figure out how to do that. Hold on.
Okay. Let me see. This thing is it's switched up on me a little bit while you're working on that. I know you're busy, you're moving. So we appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us this morning, your time, afternoon, our time. There we go. Boom. How we looking? I would push it, but I can't control it on your end. Boom.
There we go.
What's going on, Prima?
Oh, nothing much. Just another day in the life of Laverne here.
Yeah.
Trying to get things done over the weekend. It never stops.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you coming in. I would say you can see somebody in the background, but you can't. Jewel Junkie says, "HAFA ADAI, what's poppin'?" Hey,
PRIMA,
PRIMA.
HAFA ADAI.
If you get in the camera, she can see you.
Ah, there she is. How cool.
Yeah, man. You know, I try to get the little backdrop thing going. So
I thought that was real. Like, that's pretty cool. I'm a technotard, so easy to fool me.
look, I'm still working on it, so it's you'll see me fade in and out every now and then. All right, Prima, I know you're busy, and where you at? You're in Hawaii right now.
I am.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it. I got my coffee.
Okay. I locked the door so the kids don't just barge in.
Look, they can just get on the thing and just ask you questions in the chat, man. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so who are you? Where you from? And what do you do?
Okay, my name is Jennifer Laverne. I'm from the beautiful island of Guam, the village of Inarahan.
Yeah.
And what do I do? So I'm a healthcare administrator by trade in the U.S. Air Force. I've been doing that for, gosh, I already lost count. I think I'm going on 23 years.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you are on the officer side, right?
I am. I am.
But you didn't start on the officer side.
No. I've probably been an officer maybe going on 18 years, 17, 18 years. I was enlisted. I came in as an E3 because I had 2 years of college, and so I got some credit there. But yeah, I was actually supposed to join the Navy right after high school. Yeah, that's how I got my ASVAB score. There wasn't a recruiter in the Air Force on Guam, and so the only thing there was the Army and the Navy, and a wise man, Uncle Joe, told me, "Hey, Nen, if you're gonna join, go Air Force." So I was like, "Well, I guess I'll go Navy then," but decided not to at the very last minute, and postponed it for about 2 years. I worked on the outside for a little bit, and then I joined. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you kind of tap danced on it a little bit. So your ties to the military is you were Air Force. Any family members? Any ties with your family?
Ties with my family to the Air Force, no, but ties to the military, absolutely. I have 2 uncles on my dad's side, as well as my father, who joined the Army. And so outside of that, immediately, I have my uncle on my mom's side, who also was in the Army for a short stint. So the Army, for the most part, is all I know, and they wanted me to be in a place that was gonna definitely take care of me, and so hearing what they heard about the Air Force, they wanted me to join the Air Force.
Okay, yeah. So when you decided to, obviously Navy, you decided initially, and then you went ahead and did the Air Force. What caused you and made you to transition over to the officer side?
Well, it was so long ago, and I honestly don't even remember anymore, but I do know that, it was always about focusing on what was right in front of me, because it was so easy to get distracted when you look long term and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be another 2 years or 4 years until I get my degree. So I just kept focusing on the 5-meter target, the next class, and then boom, it happened. And by then I was pregnant before I became an officer. And so I was actually 9 months pregnant in my last few classes. And so that's what I was focused on. But someone kicked me in the butt and said, hey, you got your degree, time to go to the next step. It was easy for me to, again, put off because I had a child, but I went for it.
Yeah. What would you recommend for other airmen? That's the right term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Airmen that are interested in they're on that line of switching over. We call it green to gold. What do you guys call that process of going from enlisted to officer?
I don't know that there's a term for it, but I know that I think it was my uncles in the Army who called me a Mustang. to like people who transition over. Not sure if that's really accurate, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, we just say, you know, become an officer. There's no real term for it. What would I say to them? I would say, you know, I guess kind of what are the parts of my leadership philosophy is to do you. Okay, and so there's people who want to get their degree and don't want to become an officer, and that's a-okay. I think it's important for you to realize like your goals are, what your values are, and if that's staying enlisted and being an E9, that's perfectly okay. If it's becoming an officer, then that's okay too. And what I would say is you can absolutely do whichever you choose.
That's good. I like that. That's your leadership philosophy.
Do you?
Yeah.
So there's three parts to that.
That's
you,
awesome.
you know. Yeah, we don't need to be somebody else.
So you also have a wonderful better half, other half.
I do.
And you guys were both. So you were dual military. How
Yes.
did you guys, you know, make that work with you being medical, and then what was he? He was
He was a personnelist to be exact. And fortunately, I guess both career fields where it was easy for us to go base to base.
Yeah.
I was the one who drove the assignments, but all in all, I mean, it was again a choice. So when I was becoming an officer, a wise mentor at the time who actually helped me become an officer sat both down, and he said, "Hey, your wife's career is going to take off. You know, how do you feel about that?"
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in situations where he had two prior enlisted became officers, and they struggled with their marriage, and so it was an important point to sit down and say, should my career continue to take off on your stall, or vice versa? How do we feel about that? And Lawrence has just always been super supportive.
Yeah.
And that I think was a foundational thing that was so important, you know, as a couple.
Yeah. I would clip that and replay that a million times for so many people because even if you don't get the you're not going from officer to enlisted or a warrant officer. When one person's career takes off and the other person's don't, you know, you can easily come into that bitterness, right? Someone else.
Right.
It's not supposed to be jealousy. It's supposed to be like, you know, healthy competitiveness. Like, I'm gonna push you, you're gonna push me, but it's to the same house, right? That's awesome. What are some of the pros and cons?
I think there's definitely a lot of pros you have the right perspective and appreciate, and that is the growth that the military helps you with, especially at such an early age. You know, I want my kids, right, to have all the opportunities available to them, and military is not necessarily the first choice just because there's so many things out there. At the same time, I want them to experience it because I think it really helps them grow beyond what you might have gotten at home, you know, or it reaffirms what you got at home. And so those are the pros. It instills, you know, real deep values, and I believe values as an individual. The cons are, you know, the sacrifices that you like Lawrence and I always say, you know, we always knew ultimately what that meant. And so there is always that, and then there's also the fact that you're in your family all the time and you don't help them create roots in a community, but then you create that community yourself in your own household.
Absolutely. And you do kind of you extend the community, right? Where you're in a spot, you only have that community. But when you've been a nomad, have family all over the world. Right? As far as you can go, you have friends that are in different countries, and you know you still build that community. Jill says a shout out to the Laverne babies, LJ, Lana, and our daughter Rye. Shout out to the babies.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I will will say, that's the tough thing is like you made that choice, right? I totally was fine with being a nomad, and I knew that's what I needed in my life because it can't sit still.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when your kids are struggling with, not knowing people for X number of years, it's a choice that you make for them, and that's the struggle. So there's so many pros, there are some cons, but I will put that out as one of the things that's always weighing on my mind. That I basically made a choice for them.
Yeah, growing up a military brat, it's I felt I can definitely relate, but I feel like because I have friends all over the world that is, I'm not gonna say I'm better than somebody who didn't. I just feel more comfortable traveling, and I can look back and be like, oh shoot, we're in Ohio. I have such and such is here. Let's stop and see those guys, or we're in Germany or whatever. You have people that in these places, so I think that's a great benefit that we do have. The part that sucked was exactly what you said. When we go to different places and you're playing on a team or you're cheerleading or you're doing whatever, you have to start all the way back over and get on before somebody gives you that same opportunity. So
right.
Yeah. So you're in your 20s.
Okay.
What would you like to be when you grow up?
Oh my God. I don't know, because I'm like at that point, and I'm picking like 5 different career paths, which is again why I joined the military, is because you can do so many things in a career. But it is, I had to write down just to focus. And I think doing what do you call it? Like there's a board that you create, a vision board.
Vision board, yeah.
So I had to create a vision board just to focus kind of what am I doing. And I guess the point being that no matter what I choose from here on forward, I want to help families. I want to help families, like even young people who haven't gotten a chance to create a family yet, develop that foundation to getting at least where I am and then beyond, right? And so how do you do that? And so that's basically in my future. I want to help and then you have to be specific. So I said I want to help 3,000 families. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there somehow.
Hey, be specific, right? Smart. So that's good. Yeah. Jill says that's a beautiful goal. And she says you still look as beautiful as when you were in your 20s.
Oh, you're so
that's your PRIMA.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, man. Okay, if you could change 3 things in the world, what would they be?
3 things. So, I've always been about how can we become the best versions of ourselves, right? I don't really look too much about what's going on outside of me, because I don't necessarily control a lot, like control me. So I guess if I were to choose 3 things, it would be all around love. And love, I think, is being nice and being lenient. Right? We know as parents that love can be tough, love can be kind, but love obviously is not in those sort of things that Mother Teresa said. But I would just, if I were to change 3 things in the world, it would be trying to help myself through my own example. Just love God more. We all say it. I don't know that we necessarily do it, and so that's always a thing. How can I really show my love to God, to Christ more? Not in my words, but in my actions.
Right.
And then the second would be loving myself. So this goes back to my leadership philosophy, but myself more. Some people maybe overdo things, and I certainly don't. If I were to be honest, I don't do it enough. And it's kind of sad because then I see it in my kids a lot of times, the way we are, our kids are watching, and so when I see them not that love for themselves, I look back, is that something that I could have done better?
Right.
Because I've just been so humble, or at least tried to be.
Right.
So I think loving ourselves more is always a that. And then obviously loving. I mean, if you were to pick three, those would be it.
Love is the command, right? Your God and love your neighbor, right? So do all the great and wonderful things in the world. They do it in love. It doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
That's powerful. I love it. PRIMA. We got. You hit the nail on the head, man. We go out and do all these things for everybody. Taking care of ourselves, burning ourselves out. And then the important part is our kids are a reflection of us. So
right.
We'll see it in them before we'll notice it in ourselves. So it's important that we set that example. So do what we're supposed to do. Man, you gotta share yourself with love too, man. That's important. To myself too. That's the truth. Yeah. Okay, give us a leadership lesson. We can take.
A leadership lesson. Oh, jeez. A leadership lesson. I kind of back to wasn't really talked about. When I became a commander, I had to kind of pull my thoughts together on what was this going to be about. All of your goals, okay, and then choose three. Because you're not going to get all of them. And definitely required a lot of thought, and it's funny because, and then every reason was I really going to be able to if I really think about it. And it didn't even command. It kind of happened as I took command. And there were so many competing priorities, and eventually I said, ever the same and a better version of the I'll be happy with that. And so when it came about that, how people were going through some time. I was commander to remote assignments, and so definitely saw the struggles that happened. With far away. And I would say, surprisingly, wasn't even most of that. But mostly what was going on around the world. And we're required to do this feedback every year. But my fans, I ended up doing this, and sometimes the reflection of the and when I read the feedback, wanting to make things tomorrow, say, and that means make things great, not to make but to make things good. And anyway, I was seeing a lot of just just a lot of things. It was about the work environment, and with that, and the right perspective was important. Unfortunately, I had a great enlisted leader at the time who helped me really shape that perspective into what it really was, as opposed to always seeing the worst things. And so, it's like, oh, man, these guys aren't, doing well, and it's like, well, it's total. I mean, how bad is that? I then just tried to understand how can I it safely, where they were growing from it, and so it ended up being my leadership goal. And so most parents want to change from like previous commander to get back to now you reason and it was or somebody else. And so don't forget that. Don't values and I didn't. And I explained why, and I think when people saw what I understood, all that is misunderstanding. And so communication is important. But the second part of that is, take care of you, like you said, and either don't take care of yourself. And the other piece is it's you. Like I took that survey and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing very well. And they're like, well, it might not be you. Right. We make it about ourselves. And so again, realizing we're in situations and we passionate about something, you take a step back. It's not about you. What is this about? Take the better, not necessarily the right, better perspective. That's what's guiding me. Nice. Just when did I answer the question?
Over class survey, and that's good stuff.
Oh, there's so many.
Number two.
Was born. Now,
right? Yeah.
It's not just me. And that the whole world changed. So yeah, and it wasn't after that. And I felt so bad, for crying, being, after that joy had worn off, the first few days. That was definitely one. The other one, when I got married, Lauren decided that things we couldn't, our family, and so we decided to do it ourselves, and it was so spiritual. I had lost my dad. My mom couldn't join. It wouldn't have been fair. So, we were just healing. It's a blessing here at Hawaii. We saved on tickets. Then we stayed at Hollywood, which was right. And so we were able to do that. And then, so we didn't have to feed anyone and experience.
You gotta love the Mac fights.
Yes, take that benefit away.
Yeah, right. It has benefits, right?
For sure.
It's creators in your book.
And, I've about that. I'm being very I'm not like you guys know me, right? Like I forget everything. A lot of books, read a lot of books to it, and you can of great people, and the leaders I would think of are not maybe what us might say, but it's the same as really one is. So one of the things I didn't realize, authors of books or people come and present themselves in person is not what you thought, right? Almost even a little less of a realize that what you read in the book was them in these moments. They're human beings just like you and me, right? So the goodness, well, this person was the greatness that you felt was not in the books. So I look around when I for maybe that I would call out in my book. One is definitely Jesus Christ. I'll tell you that it's cheesy, and don't I don't say it often. I know we're supposed to, but he has always been just a little girl who didn't have a lot of role models. He is the one that I could tell you about and know about, and I know all the messages and ask me if I don't.
I don't.
But that he was loved, that he loved me, and I knew that I was always there. I knew that, the stories about, and again, he wasn't I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to give you everything that you need, because this is a parent, you understand it way better.
Right.
That you do it out of pure love, for your children. So, he's definitely like my number one lead in my life. Always has been. And then the next ones are more of like, your everyday people, but not your everyday people. Like my husband is my book, and he'd probably laugh if he heard this.
I love it.
She don't treat me that way. But he really is. He's just the kind of guy that makes life is there for people. Has always tried to figure out how to help people in his own way, and has brought family, his tried family to God. He sits them down. As much as I am faithful, and the kids that they probably see things that I do, even though I don't do those things. He's the one who brings the family to the table and talk about it. And then I get annoyed because, out of my own or I don't want to do things my way. But he really has, and he's tried to take it. And just the fact that he's here, the fact that his family, is enough, like, to be our leader.
Right.
So that you got to meet all this criteria. You really don't. You just need to be there for your family. And maybe someone I could be.
Yeah. Spouse strong. Not the PRIMA.
That's right.
Look, don't always talk it, but when we honor and respect, same. I 100%. And she said, if you're ashamed of him, he will be ashamed of you. Shout out, PRIMA. All right. Quote that you live by, or that's yours.
Oh, I don't, because again, I'm a leffa, so that I love, but there's one that I remember only because, and it was a little embarrassing, because my daughter, for her graduation, this is one I gave quotes, and she said that this is her mom's quote, so that's where I it was a little bit, because it's not my quote. But it is something I apparently said often enough for her to remember, and it was important to her. I remember it now. But it's this two shots.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And Rice struggled a lot emotionally, and I certainly watched that as she grew up, and it just reminded me of how everyone is walking, right? That's like one of the quotes that I came across. How everyone is struggling with something you know nothing about. And so it's important, just as a young child, losing my father at a young age and going through some things, it's like having hope and two shots, make decisions based on what's in the moment. I will tell you, I've tried to quit many times, and there have been for me who keep going or my husband was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I was ready, like I remember, and if you let me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I had great people around me, and this is going to pass as well. And so I've done it time and time again to tell everyone else that it's so true.
Yeah. I remember so many times, PRIMA. I remember you were ready. You were ready. It's like, hold on, you are almost there. One more year. Yeah. Like, that's it. I remember, man,
So awesome.
It's such a blessing, right? Because us being Army, being Air Force, we were all stationed in some of the same places sometimes, right? So us getting the opportunity to spend time with you guys, spend time with the kids, you guys how the transition, it's such a blessing. You guys have such a blessing. Thank you for allowing us to, join those lyrics.
No, just to be the styles and the light that you are, like I said, it doesn't even have to be extravagant. The great things are wisdom. A lot of times it's just love. And we saw that every time that we saw you guys, and so just really appreciated that about you and your.
Yeah. He says, Jen, you are always and always have been an inspiration, not just for our people, but women in general.
You too well. You got that for sure.
Because you made it to the lightning, we got 5 minutes.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
All right. So, what are your 3 most played songs?
Oh my gosh. Played ones? You should ask girls, because again, I don't pay attention to the details yet, but kind of music they are. 90s music, a lot of R&B, rap is like them, and they're probably loving it, so I mean, it's just natural. And now, Hawaiian music, like music all the time.
Okay.
And I don't ever change it. So yeah, between 90s and island music.
Now, what are you playing?
Strangely enough, growing up, we always play music when we're cleaning, but we do dance in the kitchen a lot. Yeah. Usually, like, there's no music. Like all kinds, like the girls are great, like all kinds of music we dance to.
Okay. All right. Where do you go to?
And so I'm usually in the backyard, and I'm in a duty, I guess, serving them. I go there, I remember how there's a world that's way bigger than ourselves. So I want us to go, just look at life in general, put things into perspective, and then going to the beach here. I mean, just to hear how powerful those waves are, again, reminds me of how this world is so much bigger than the problem we have. Make you appreciate just what you have. So yeah, that's where I go to. Korea, maybe. Yeah. It was because my family, we could all experience it together. The foreign country, and the people were great, and it was safe. And I would never be able to just let my kids roam into, and just to be known for craziness. And anyway, it's a lot more. The girls just go with their friends and have boba tea, and it's so nice, to be in a community.
Yeah. A lot of people will shout Korea. When I was there.
Oh man.
Boba tea, love it. And music. Okay, what's your favorite food?
I do like seafood. Never had coconut crab, so I did back from my mom, right? Yeah, and I went over there because he lived there, and people believe this, he had coconut crab because it was always, kind of a rarity, and only the adults did it. The kids got this. But anyway, so I went over there. He had like center in the cave. It was so. That's the thing about Chamorro people, right? They're so giving. And I told him, I said, Nina, Godfather. I said, I have kids here. We're here to do that. They wanted to try it. And he had ate in his cage and he cooked it all and he made it really good. So anyway, yeah, I think it's top of the list. Yeah.
Man, this coconut bread.
Oh
my God.
You gotta go home now. I gotta go meet it.
We're trying to get over there. Okay, what favorite gave us favorite
group?
Yeah.
Oh, music group. It's probably the one where everyone's remember, but yeah. It's kind of like K-pop. A, because they sing is a lot cleaner than B singer. B, their team, you know, a band, kind of group. If you watch their videos and how they get to where they get, it's a real journey. So yeah, pink something. Anyway,
what's your favorite player?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I am an old lady, so I don't want anything. Watching movies together. Yeah, and that's fair. I want more.
Okay.
Oh,
Italy?
Yeah. Some history.
I know.
Yeah, that's really cool. I so we went to our room and I looked at the window, right, and I saw all the buildings nearby. I said, "Wow, this is cool." And I the moment I went to this weird moment, and wait a minute, I am Italy. I've never been to Europe, so I thought just all history. What's that? Yeah. And so I go to different parts. Italy's just that. I don't really like the food. Because all I have is the American food, and I was like, that is like pizza.
Right. We're probably nice. And 5 4 minutes this week. Absolutely.
See what you guys are doing.
You stay
okay.
Bye. Right. Cousin and senior leader in the United States Air Force medical field, doing great things before she go out on another mission and on the show. So, if you didn't know, by Hammer, Franklin Financial, we had First Sergeant Ricardo Villarreal, Greg Chris, nephew Mark Stromer, aka Preacher Q, and cousin Jennifer on the show. We will finish out with William Galen and Kelly and Nancy Mann next week, and put out the schedule for March, and look forward to seeing you guys, man. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Don't do stupid, and for everybody in the hospital, we continue to pray for you guys. And remember, you never know the battle that people are going through. So, if nothing else, smile and be nice. Because this is the show.